You know, every single day, people are constantly throwing away things that could save them money, make life easier, and even solve everyday problems. And all without spending a single dime. You know, you might not realize it, but some of the most common items that we seem to toss in the trash every single day have secret second lives. Some of these things can be incredibly useful once you realize how useful it is just to repurpose them. And once you see what some of these things can do, you will never look at your trash the same again. I'm talking about something as simple as an empty old ice cream container. I mean, that's something that we all think has zero value. Things that break, that just can be incredible hacks, storage solutions, life upgrades, things you didn't even know you needed. So in this video, I'm going to break down 10 everyday items that you should absolutely think about before you toss it in the trash. I'm going to show you how to transform these 10 items into something incredibly amazing. And you are going to be shocked at how much value you've actually been throwing away. Now be sure to stay until the end because I've got a bonus one for you as well. Many of us use colognes, perfumes. Sometimes we use them every day, but depending on the brand, my goodness, these little small bottles of cologne and perfume can be very, very expensive. And what do we do when they are empty? I mean, if it's a real pretty fancy bottle, we might keep it for decor or something like that, but average, but mostly, we just toss it. It's empty, we're done. The cologne is gone. Did you know that some of your top brand colognes and perfumes can be refilled? If you have a bottle of cologne refilled, you're going to get the exact same scent in your bottle, but at a savings of about 50 to 70% off the original price. That can be a huge saving because cologne these days can be very, very expensive. There are several places that you can actually have your cologne refilled. Sephora, Macy's, Ulta, all of those refill bottles. There are some sellers, just like this one, Yves Saint Laurent, Ralph Lauren, and Lancome, they all refill their own colognes. The only thing that you need to make sure of is that your bottle, like this one, is not pressed down around the top. If it's a bottle that has been pressed down around the top, it cannot be opened. But with the right tools, a bottle made like this, that top will come right off. So before you throw that cologne away next time, check to see if it can be refilled and save yourself some money. Number 2 on my list is soap scraps. Oh my goodness, look at this. We all get to the end of our soap and it renders itself useless. It's either too small to hold in your hand or it doesn't lather enough. And what do? We toss them and get enough, or they break or do something all crazy, uneven. I even have black soap, all kind of soap scraps. And for years, I tossed my soap scraps in the trash can too. Until I realized and learned how easy it is to make liquid hand soap. Oh my goodness. Now I toss my scraps in a big, giant can. Any can will do. And that's another thing. This is actually a protein shake can. So I'm repurposing it as well. So how do you make this hand soap from all these scrap soaps? All you need to do is chop the soap up in really, really tiny bits of pieces and put them in a pot with distilled water. You want to melt them on low heat and stir often. Then, once they are completely melted, add in 1 to 2 tablespoons of glycerin. Glycerin will make your soap more moisturizing. And you can add essential oil, whatever your favorite scent is, peppermint, lavender, lemon, whatever your favorite scent is, to add to the scent of the soap. And it doesn't matter what kind of soap it is. As you saw, I had black soap, gold soap, beige soap. It can all be melted down together. Now the black soap might turn it an ugly color, so I would probably take my black soap out, but if I had enough, I would still melt it down as well. Be sure to let it cool completely before you fill your dispenser. Number 3, these buckets. This is a coconut oil bucket, okay? These are food grade buckets. You can also get the same type of bucket, but it'll probably be 5 gallon. This is 1 gallon from bakery departments. Almost all bakery departments have them and they throw them away. You can ask for them and they'll either give them to you or they'll charge you maybe $1. I've had some that just charge 50 cents just because they said they couldn't just give it away, okay? But these buckets have these really, I can't even get it off, good tops on them. When they're closed properly, they're airtight. Ooh, that's how tight that is. This is just coconut oil in here, but when my coconut oil is all gone, I will repurpose this container to store long-term rice and or beans. It's airtight, yet as you saw me open it, I can still get in it to cook from whatever storage that I have. These make excellent long-term storage for our pantries. Make sure whatever container you use, you clean it out really well so you won't have any residue or scent from whatever it originally contained. I always like to make sure mine dry out, air dry out. That way the air can circulate in it, and I make sure that I wash it, if necessary, 2 or 3 times until that scent, in my case, coconut oil scent, is out. Then, to store things like rice and beans, just your dry beans in a bag, all you have to do is add a few bay leaves. These are bay leaves. Make sure you add a few. I add a few on the bottom, fill it up with some rice, add a few more, fill it up, add a few more, and then place a few on the top. The bay leaves will keep any weevils or anything else out of your dry goods. Then, I also like to use oxygen absorbers. Now, I like these micro pack. These are dry clay oxygen absorbers. I like these because they're food grade. You can put them in food, medicine, and or regular dry goods. I always toss a couple of these in at the top just in case somebody else goes in it and the lid is cracked at some point in time or whatever, to make sure moisture does not get into my dry goods. Olive oil funnels. Sometimes olive oil comes with these funnels. They're attached to the side of the bottle. Depending on the olive oil, some are fat, short with a larger hole, and some are made like this with a tinier hole or a smaller hole. Do not throw your funnels away. These funnels are excellent to attach to other bottles for flavored vinegars or a vinegar-based or olive oil and vinegar-based salad dressing. Anything like that that's liquid enough, these funnels are amazing for. So don't throw them away. You can actually even recycle your olive oil bottle, making a salad dressing in it or something like that and using the funnel. And oh my goodness, when you're having company or you're doing something, and sometimes just for yourself, when you sit your different various heights of bottles and things on the counter and you have these little funnels in it for your dressing or your sauces or something like that, it makes an amazing decor for your table. Favorite thing, if you like repurposing items, being able to save money on everyday items, and finding alternative uses for many items that are just typically thrown away, take a second and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hang in there for our bonus tip at the end. Okay, so how many of us have odd sets of wine glasses, champagne glasses? They get broke. Okay, you have a set of 4 and you break 1 or 2. Now you have a set of 2 or you have a set of 3 and they become odd. And then sometimes we just donate them or toss them to the side. Sometimes we break all of them and all we have is 1 left. Now you have a new set. It's called a mismatch set. I repurpose mine by turning them upside down and using them to hold candles. You can set this on your table depending on the various heights. You can set it in the middle of your table, on an end table, or anywhere else that you want to have a nice decor. The beauty of it is the bottom, which was the top, is wide enough, typically, even on this champagne glass, to be very stable. But it's a beautiful candelabrum. And then, because you have this rim, that's the bottom of the glass, it catches all the wax. So you won't have any wax run down on your counter, your table, or anything like that. This is one of my favorite ways to have decor from something that I normally would throw away, but I like to use every day. Now, I am not a cereal person, but I always keep cereal for whatever reason. And if you are someone that has cereal or has kids and you've got some form of cereal, even a healthy cereal, in your house, then it typically comes in bags like this. bags right here can be repurposed. Now, yes, sure, you can easily repurpose the cardboard part of the cereal box, especially the inside. You can cut it into strips and use those with a magnet on your refrigerator as a grocery list. Arts and crafts, you can cut it apart and let kids draw on it. The possibilities are endless. You can cut it in the right shape and use it as an organizer in a drawer. There are a lot of things you can do with the cardboard, but did you know you can repurpose this part? This is just like wax paper, not to be confused with parchment paper. Parchment paper is heat resistant and wax paper is not. So do not put this in your oven, but you can use it to roll out your pastry dough. You can wrap sandwiches in it for travel or in your lunchbox. It works perfect in the freezer and the refrigerator. You can use this the same exact as you would wax paper. Again, not to be confused with parchment paper. This is not heat resistant. You cannot use it in the oven. You cannot cook with it, but you can use it for so many other things. Just be sure to wipe it down really, really well and make sure it is completely dry before you reuse it. For all my crochet and knitting friends out there, this next one is for you. The disinfectant wipes container. Do not throw it away. Oh my good. It has a lid on it. The yarn goes inside and it closes tightly while you are traveling or just sitting at home in front of the television so that you don't have to worry about the yarn go rolling somewhere. And it's in a container. Now, I'm not the best crocheter in the world, okay? But I do know that when you're crocheting, the last thing you want is your yarn to go wandering down the hall somewhere. When you're traveling in a car, it's closed up and neat. I would typically just take this signage off of here. You can even knit or crochet a nice little case for it, okay? And put it inside because it has a top on it. When you're done crocheting, whatever you're going to crochet, all you need to do is take it, open it up, and your crochet hook and everything fits right down inside. Nice and neat. Ice cream, my favorite dessert, ice cream. And chocolate chip cookies. Do you ever have half-gallon ice cream containers? Mine aren't empty yet, but when they do become empty, I like to put my scraps in them for my garden. This one's for my gardeners. Put your scraps in there and stick them right back in the freezer. The tops are secure, there's no smells coming from it, and I freeze it until I'm ready to compost it. It works amazingly well. And if the stuff is chopped up already because it's the ends and pieces of something, even better. You can fit even more in there. These are amazing. Rinse them out, dry them well, and reuse them. And you can use the same container over and over and over again. And they are especially handy in the winter when sometimes we just don't want to go out to our compost bin in the rain, in the snow, in the cold, in the ice. We want to wait until there's a nice day to go and dump stuff into the compost bin. Using these old ice cream containers will easily save the day. Keeps you from using Ziploc bags, fresh, new Ziploc bags, when you can reuse something that has a nice lid and lots of space for you to smash down those scraps until you're ready to go out to your compost bin. Who has these mesh bags like this? Avocados come in these, sweet potatoes come in these, other potatoes come in these. All kinds of fruits, lemons and lime come in these mesh bags. Don't throw your mesh bags away. These bags are not only colorful, they have a lot of uses. In the garden, they can be used to hold heavy fruit, heavy melons. If you have kids or grandkids, these hold bathtub toys wonderfully. You can hang them and store your onions, your ginger, your garlic, potatoes, and other root vegetables. Hanging them in bags like this will allow them to have circulation to keep down mold and spoilage. And they are also great for washing small and or delicate items in your washing machine. So make sure you hang on to your mesh bags. This is one of my favorite things to repurpose. A lot of us keep glass jars that we get other items in, like honey or any other condiment, hot sauce. This is a hot sauce bottle. This comes from spices. If it is a good glass jar, keep the jars and the tops. I actually have the tops to all of these. One of my favorite ways is to repurpose. These are my favorite. This is a hot sauce bottle. I use these and I will take 4 or 5 different pieces of herbs fresh from my garden and I will keep it on my windowsill in my kitchen. So if I need thyme or oregano or rosemary, I don't have to go out to the garden. I just go to my windowsill. They match, they're nice, they're small, and they're tiny. These other jars can be used for everything. You can put spices if you buy any spices in bulk. They can go in these jars. You can also put cleansers in these jars or anything you need to shake. These jars will hold Q-tips and cotton balls, and you can repurpose these. Put your fruit in it, in your refrigerator. Fruit lasts longer in a glass jar. So if it's a good glass jar with a good top, you might want to think twice before throwing it in the trash. Now I promised you a bonus tip. This tip involves old CDs, because you may still have a CD player. I actually have a few in my house. But outside of that, you can't really buy CDs anymore. And soon, once the CD players that I have break, I won't be able to use those anymore. And a lot of us have CDs that we used to play in our vehicles and things like that, that we can no longer use. These make excellent coasters when you're having company and guests over. Everyone gets a different one. They're colorful and they can bring up memories, and they can be not only conversation pieces, but conversation starters as well. So don't throw away your old CDs. I wouldn't say, if you are a music person and you have 100, I wouldn't say keep 100, but you might want to keep 8 or 10 or 12, depending on what kind of maybe party or gathering that you typically would have. If it's just you and someone else, maybe keep 4 or something like that. Make sure when you use it as a coaster, you have the nice colorful side facing up. Everyone gets a different coaster. If you just take a minute to think outside of the box, there are so many things, and there are so many more things that can be repurposed instead of thrown in the trash, instead of us spending money on some of the things that we're using them for. So not only do you get to repurpose, you get to save money as well. Possibilities and opportunities to reuse and revitalize things are endless. Look around and see what you can find that you typically use every day, but throw away, and see if you can't find a new way to reuse that item. If you like the idea of reusing and repurposing everyday items that you typically throw away that'll make your life easier and better, take a second and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 500,000 subscribers together, and be sure to check out the other video on the screen. I'm Pam, and this is my POV.